Hello friends! On the monumental day of July 20th, 1969, humanity achieved a milestone that would forever alter our understanding of our place in the cosmos. The Apollo 11 mission successfully landed on the moon. This extraordinary feat was realized through the combined efforts of NASA and a dedicated team of engineers, scientists, and astronauts, among whom Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were the prominent figures aboard the lunar module. As the lunar module, affectionately known as Eagle, settled onto the moon's surface, Neil Armstrong faced an initial struggle with the module's door. The door was designed to withstand the vacuum of space, creating a significant pressure differential that made it difficult to open. However, after a brief but intense moment of effort, he managed to push it open and prepared to descend to the moon's surface. The anticipation was palpable both inside the module and back on Earth as millions tuned in to witness this historic moment. Stepping outside, Armstrong donned a bulky, heavy spacesuit that had been meticulously engineered for the harsh lunar environment. As he maneuvered through the confined exit, he accidentally struck the upper frame, causing a small but crucial piece of the lunar module to break off. This component was the ascent engine, arming switch, an essential part for the module's return journey to Earth. Unbeknownst to Armstrong and Aldrin, the loss of this switch would have catastrophic consequences for their return if they could not find a solution. Nonetheless, without a second thought for the broken switch, Armstrong took his first steps onto the lunar surface. In that instant, he became the first human to walk on the moon, a moment that would be etched into history and consciousness for generations to come. Yet even as this achievement unfolded, skepticism began to brew. More than 5 decades later, numerous conspiracy theories have emerged suggesting that the moon landing was fabricated and that the entire spectacle was staged in a Hollywood-like fashion to assert American dominance during the Cold War. These theories often cite anomalies such as the American flag appearing to flutter despite the moon's lack of atmosphere. However, the truth behind this lies in the flag's design. It was crafted with a horizontal rod to keep it extended, compensating for the absence of wind. During the Apollo 11 mission, there were issues with fully extending this rod, which created the illusion of movement. This kind of misunderstanding continues to fuel skepticism, with people proposing alternative narratives to explain what they see. The historical context of the Apollo 11 mission is critical to understanding why this moment was not just about reaching the moon, but also about winning a race. The space race was ignited during the Cold War, a period characterized by intense rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union shocked the world by launching Sputnik, the first artificial satellite, in 1957, which placed them ahead in the technological race. In response, President John F. Kennedy articulated a vision for America to land a man on the moon by the end of the 1960s, a challenge that seemed nearly insurmountable given the technological limitations of the time. Kennedy's speech on May 25, 1961 reverberated across the nation, a clarion call that inspired millions. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. This vision galvanized the American public and mobilized resources as Kennedy allocated billions to NASA's efforts in unprecedented investment in space exploration. The urgency was palpable, not just to outpace the Soviets, but to inspire national pride and demonstrate technological supremacy. Following the funding surge, a series of tests ensued, starting with unmanned missions. These preliminary tests were crucial for developing the systems necessary for human space travel. Tragedy struck during the Apollo 1 mission when a cabin fire claimed the lives of 3 astronauts during a routine Earth-based test. This incident only strengthened NASA's resolve to continue the journey toward the moon, leading to subsequent unmanned missions including Apollo 4, 5, and 6, which tested the spacecraft's capabilities. Finally, in December 1968, the Apollo 8 mission took a significant leap by orbiting the moon, laying the groundwork for the historic Apollo 11 mission that was to follow. In a series of meticulously planned steps, NASA prepared for the momentous day of July 16, 1969, when Apollo 11 launched from Kennedy Space Center. The Saturn V rocket, the most powerful rocket ever built, was the vehicle for this historic journey, loaded with millions of gallons of fuel and engineered with precision. The launch was a spectacle witnessed by millions worldwide, culminating in a tense journey through the vacuum of space. After several days of travel, Apollo 11 reached lunar orbit on July 19, 1969. At this point, the lunar module separated from the command module, leaving Michael Collins to orbit the moon, while Armstrong and Aldrin descended to the surface. This division of responsibilities showcased not just the individual bravery of each astronaut, but also the collective effort that made this mission possible. As the lunar module began, its descent alarms sounded 12:01 and 12:02, indicating a potential overload in the guidance computer. Armstrong and Aldrin faced yet another hurdle. Trusting their training and instinct, they continued with the landing sequence, only to discover that the landing site was strewn with boulders. Armstrong took manual control, adjusting their path to a safer area, demonstrating the critical thinking and adaptability required in such a high-stakes environment. Finally, with mere seconds of fuel remaining, the lunar module successfully touched down on the moon's surface. The world erupted in joy as Armstrong and Aldrin emerged, stepping onto the alien landscape and fulfilling a promise made nearly a decade prior. For the next few hours, they collected lunar samples, conducted experiments, and planted the American flag, a symbol of victory, not just in a geopolitical sense, but as a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. However, the mission was far from over. After spending a brief time on the lunar surface, they returned to the lunar module, where the reality of the broken ascent engine arming switch loomed large. NASA's engineers back on Earth, aware of the risks, provided crucial support. Aldrin's quick thinking allowed them to use a ballpoint pen to complete the circuit, a creative solution that exemplified the innovative spirit driving the Apollo program. With the engine ignited, the lunar module successfully reattached to the command module, and the astronauts began their journey back to Earth. This return trip was fraught with danger. The service module's thrusters failed, forcing them to watch debris float by as they made their descent. Even as President Nixon prepared a speech to honor the astronauts' sacrifice should they not return, the crew managed to navigate through the challenges and safely re-enter Earth's atmosphere. Upon their safe landing in the ocean, the astronauts were immediately quarantined for 2 weeks as a precaution against any potential pathogens they may have encountered on the moon. This concern for safety underscored the uncertainties surrounding space exploration at the time. The success of Apollo 11 was not merely an American triumph, but a moment shared by all of humanity. The mission captivated global audiences and was a testament to what could be achieved through collective effort, determination, and unwavering belief in the possibilities of science and technology. However, it also sparked debates about priorities. Was the monumental investment in space exploration justified when pressing issues like poverty and civil rights demanded attention? Critics voiced concerns that funds allocated to NASA could have been better spent addressing social problems at home. Yet the Apollo program yielded technological advancements that trickled down into everyday life, from improvements in materials science to the development of microchips that paved the way for the digital age. In the years that followed, enthusiasm for lunar exploration waned. The last manned mission to the moon, Apollo 17, took place in December 1972. As political priorities shifted and funding for NASA dwindled, the idea of manned lunar missions became a relic of the past, leaving many to wonder if humanity would ever return to the moon. Fast forward to the present day, where renewed interest in lunar exploration has emerged through NASA's Artemis program, aiming to return humans to the moon by the mid-2020s. This initiative seeks not only to land the first woman and the next man on the lunar surface, but also to establish a sustainable presence, laying the groundwork for future exploration, including potential missions to Mars. The journey of Apollo 11 reminds us of the remarkable capabilities of humankind, reflecting both the triumphs and tribulations faced in our quest to explore the unknown. The echoes of that historic landing continue to inspire new generations, igniting a passion for science exploration and discovery. As we look to the future, One thing is clear, the spirit of adventure that drove the Apollo program endures, beckoning us to venture further into the cosmos. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of humanity's most incredible achievements, I invite you to explore more about space exploration and its impact through our curated video playlist. Let's continue to uncover the mysteries of the universe together. Thank you for joining me on this journey.